A single precision strike can render a multi-billion-dollar air defense grid obsolete in seconds, and that reality just arrived in the Yellow Sea. On May 26, 2026, North Korea shattered a 37-day period of relative calm by launching a coordinated mixed-fire strike from the coastal city of Jeonju. This was not a routine show of force. It was a direct counter-strike after South Korea announced an accelerated timeline to deploy nuclear-powered submarines, a move that threatens Pyongyang's strategic nuclear deterrent at its core. By deploying the Pulhwasal-3-31 tactical cruise missile alongside upgraded 240mm multiple rocket launch systems, North Korea has put the entire Seoul metropolitan area, home to 25 million citizens, within an immediate 100-kilometer strike envelope. The suspense lies not in the launch itself, but in the technology guiding it, as North Korea has officially integrated artificial intelligence into its low-altitude cruise missile guidance systems to exploit blind spots in Allied radar coverage. This mixed-fire doctrine combined a high-altitude ballistic missile decoy with a low, flying terrain-hugging cruise missile, threatening to saturate and overwhelm the advanced American-manufactured Patriot defense grids shielding the South Korean capital. This aggressive demonstration has effectively rewritten the anti-access area denial calculus in East Asia, forcing military planners in Washington, Seoul, and Tokyo to reevaluate their integrated air and missile defense capabilities against an adversary that is rapidly weaponizing algorithms. Before we go on, do you think automated weapons make the world more stable or more dangerous? And tell me where you are watching from, then subscribe to follow this deep dive. At the heart of this technical escalation is a weapons system engineered to slip through traditional air defense nets unnoticed. The Pulhwasal-3-31 represents a significant evolution in North Korean missile architecture. Originally tested as a long-range strategic weapon, this specific variant has been optimized for short-range tactical precision within a 100-kilometer operational window. By integrating an onboard artificial intelligence algorithm coupled with optical and infrared sensors, the missile executes real-time terrain following navigation. It actively scans the landscape below, adapting its flight path to skim just meters above the terrain and sea, avoiding detection by the high-altitude radar arrays of the Alliance. This autonomy eliminates the need for vulnerable satellite data links, rendering traditional electronic warfare countermeasures ineffective. Operating in tandem with this digital threat is the modernized M1985 multiple rocket launch system. This 240mm artillery platform now features a lightweight composite frame, significantly reducing deployment time and enabling a highly mobile shoot and scoot doctrine. The rockets themselves are no longer unguided area saturation weapons. They now utilize aerodynamic control fins and satellite navigation chips to achieve pinpoint precision. By combining these two distinct assets, Pyongyang has established an asymmetrical firepower doctrine designed to exploit the physical limitations of existing defensive networks. The primary vulnerability of this technology, however, lies in its reliance on critical dual-use microchips, raising profound questions about the resilience of global supply chain blockades. If these artificial intelligence-guided platforms can consistently mask their signatures within the clutter of low-altitude flight, traditional defensive equations are fundamentally broken. How long can Allied air defenses maintain a high probability of intercept when forced to process a synchronized wave of ballistic, cruise, and guided artillery threats simultaneously? This dual threat introduces a destabilizing variable into the delicate geopolitical equilibrium of Northeast Asia. By establishing a viable low-altitude penetration capability, Pyongyang has directly challenged the traditional anti-access area denial architectures designed by the trilateral alliance of Washington, Seoul, and Tokyo. The immediate strategic impact ripples across the Yellow Sea, a highly sensitive maritime buffer zone where Chinese naval forces actively monitor Western military encirclement. For South Korea, the demonstration forces a critical re-evaluation of its regional defense posture, especially as the nation attempts to secure American diplomatic approval for an indigenous nuclear-powered submarine program. Seoul reacted with sharp condemnation, characterizing the mixed fire exercise as a severe provocation that undermines regional stability, while Washington immediately mobilized its multi-domain intelligence assets to harvest electromagnetic and telemetry data from the flight paths. Concurrently, Japan is observing these developments through a lens of profound defense urgency, particularly as Tokyo navigates severe procurement delays regarding its planned acquisition of 400 American-manufactured Tomahawk cruise missiles. The realization that an adversary can field autonomous guidance systems, while Allied long-range strike contracts face multi-year supply chain bottlenecks, accelerates the push for defense self-reliance across the First Island chain. This shifting calculus places Beijing in a complex diplomatic vice, as it must shield its northern ally from Western retaliation, while preventing the United States Seventh Fleet from permanently increasing its Aegis destroyer presence on the maritime doorstep of China. The traditional assumptions of technological superiority that underpinned Allied deterrence are now under active review. Will this surge in autonomous tactical weaponry compel the alliance to accelerate a preemptive counterforce doctrine, or will it force an entirely new framework for regional arms control negotiations in East Asia? The unfolding reality in the Yellow Sea underscores a profound shift in modern conflict, where software sophistication rapidly neutralizes hardware supremacy. The core riddle confronting Western intelligence agencies centers not on the flight mechanics of the weapons, but on the hidden supply chains feeding them. How an isolated state enduring stringent global economic blockades maintains access to advanced dual-use microprocessors capable of executing real-time artificial intelligence processing remains a critical vulnerability in the global non-proliferation architecture. This technological leap signals the end of simple containment strategies, proving that algorithmic warfare is no longer the exclusive domain of major global superpowers. For the 25 million residents in the Seoul metropolitan area, this evolution compresses tactical reaction times to near zero, rendering traditional air defense doctrines potentially obsolete. The strategic lesson of this escalation is clear. Deterrence can no longer rely on the static placement of interceptor batteries, but must evolve toward integrated multi-domain countermeasure grids that fuse electronic warfare, kinetic defense, and cyber operations. As East Asia enters this uncharted territory, where autonomous algorithms command frontline strike platforms, the risk of miscalculation escalates exponentially. The ultimate question is whether existing military alliances can adapt their defense procurement frameworks quickly enough to counter a threat that evolves at the speed of software updates. To explore how the alliance intends to neutralize this algorithmic challenge through advanced electronic warfare countermeasures and the Patriot Defense Grid, click on the next video in this series to analyze the tactical countermeasures. If an adversary can successfully substitute mass-manufactured guided artillery and artificial intelligence software for traditional long-range strategic bombers, does the traditional definition of military superiority hold any meaning in the 21st century?